Good morning, everybody.
Morning, not good
Good
morning.
afternoon, everyone.
Good day.
And good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to be in the place today. My name is the original James L. Thomas, and I'm here with the beauty, the beautiful, the lovely, the astounding, the gorgeous, the aforementioned
Oh gosh.
Carla, the C in CJ Podcast. Good night, everybody.
Hey everybody. Let's go back to that introduction of yourself. Are you the original?
I'm not the original. However, all the others have passed before me. So I am the original thus far. Amen.
Okay.
But yeah, we just came back off a hiatus over vacations and trainings and everything else, and we missed you guys. We wanted to come back and do something special for you, so we decided to just drop a podcast right on your head top. So we're going to be talking about things that are not scripted today.
Oh boy. He set me up, y'all. So just forewarning, I've been set up.
We do not normally make shows like this. However, we find out that our best material is when we're just talking to each other. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk to each other today. I do want to ask you, you just came back off an airplane not too long ago. Tell the people where you've been and what you've been up to.
So, early June, I left Florida and I went to New York to see some family. My mom still lives there, and quite a bit of other family members. So, passed through for about a week and a half, saw some folks, and then I went to Antigua in the West Indies, Antigua and Barbuda in the West Indies, where my family is from. I was there for about 4 weeks. I did a few fun things. So if you choose to visit beaches, doesn't really matter which ones you go to, they're all very beautiful. I did the rainforest and the zip lining. That was a grand old time. There's food. Lots of food everywhere. And it's pretty affordable. Unless you want to go to like the bougiest of restaurants, then you're going to be paying some money. Some places to go. Monday night, Porto's is really a vibe. It's a live band. I happen to know one of the band members. He's actually a family member. And it was like a really good night. Even my mom, who is a senior, you could say, was having a good time. So all ages, fun. You could take the kids. It ends pretty early, so try to get reservations for like 7:30, because by 10 they're wrapping up. Some other things that I did were, we went to Barbuda, which is a sister island of Antigua, and that was an interesting experience. We went to a cave, so if you have time, check that out. We did not get to see the bird sanctuary and the pink sand beaches, but definitely would recommend going. Everyone, that was their first question. Did you go to the bird sanctuary? I did not. We didn't plan for it. I didn't do my due diligence as far as research is concerned. So I wasn't prepared timing wise for that portion of the day. So anyway, read all about it. There's plenty of people who have done vlogs on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm pretty sure there's quite a bit here on YouTube. So check it out. Very much so worth the trip. If you want to think a lot less about the basics, do all inclusive. If you want to experience it like the natives, try an Airbnb. There's plenty to choose from. Really a great time. I'd say check it out. Again, if you are a beach lover, this is your place to go. But yes, after that, I came back to New York, or went back to New York for a few days, and then I'm back in Florida, homesick. I missed my bed. That was the first few days being back. I just kind of, cuddled up with my bed for a little bit, because it was some time. I had a good time, but it's nothing like being at home in your own space.
I think that's one of the things that I kind of hate about vacations is that like when you go on vacation, you miss your bed. I don't know what it is about. Like I had a training for 3 days in DC, and I had the option of being able to get a hotel room or drive back and forth from Virginia to DC. And I would prefer to drive back and forth from Virginia to DC than to sleep in a hotel. Now, granted, I like hotels and I like staying in hotels. But if you give me an option to sleep in my bed versus a hotel bed,
100%.
I think I'm picking my bed 90% of the time.
Right.
Definitely 90% of the time. But we thank you for your guru vacation situation. I want to ask you a question though. Did you take your sandals off and walk barefoot in the beach?
Of course. There's no other way to do it.
Did you see any crustaceans or any crabs in the sand?
Yes. At one particular beach, we did spot a linen crab, and I have a little video clip of it.
I didn't see this video.
Okay, I had to share that with you.
I love aminos.
Aminos?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you bring the shells home?
My mom did. I used to collect shells, and then they would just be in my house. I wouldn't do anything with them, so I stopped collecting them.
Oh man, that's one thing.
I actually still have shells that I collected as a child. So I was like, I don't need to add to that. I'll just keep the ones that I already have.
Now here we go. I'm gonna get my heart broken right now. I can feel it already. Do you have any shells from Coney Island? And moving right along, folks. And that's what I'm talking about. So,
we went to Coney Island a lot of times. I don't remember picking up shells.
We probably did.
If we did, they're in that bag with the rest of them.
Well, thank you for clumping me all together.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry. I thought I was special. That's why.
So here's the deal. That's the thing with collecting shells and stuff like that. Like, you don't remember where they're from unless you document it in some way. Something cute that my mom did on this trip was she actually wrote the date.
That's what you're supposed to do.
On the shell. And I was like, this is so smart. Like,
on the inside of the shell.
She wrote it on every single thing. I even went to the beach without her, and I brought her back something, and she wrote the date on them.
That's how you remember stuff.
Right.
Memory forgets, paper doesn't. That's what they say.
That part.
Well, while you were on the beach and loving the ocean crash up against the shore and eating fancy island food, I was just off. And that all in itself is a vacation. Hello. My sons came through. So the boys are down here. And, be honest with you, like, we've been having some of the best conversations I think I've ever had in my entire life. Something about being a father and having kids that don't live necessarily with you and having them come down and spend time with you. It's almost as if like you want to be their friend, but you're not. And you definitely want to make sure that like they understand that like you're going to be as hard on them as you possibly can without trying to act like you're their father, even though you are. But it's just it's a balancing act. Like you don't want to do too much, but then you don't want to be so lax that they get away with murder, and nobody gets away with nothing in here. But they've been here, and they've been the thing that I've been loving about my vacation time so far is that they've been spending time with their sisters. So those of you who don't know me, I have a 17-year-old son, 14-year-old son, and two girls that are 2 years old. Yes, they're twins, Brooklyn and Ava. So to watch them play with their sisters has been like the funniest thing in the world. They are like my sons. My sons are like marveling at the fact that they're 2 years old and they run around like they actually move, because the last time they saw them, they couldn't walk. So not only are they walking, but they're running. And then not only are they not crying anymore, but they're telling you no and good morning and move and stop and no, and all of these different things that like 2-year-olds say that they're actually getting a chance to experience. And that for me has been like the highlight of my weeks off from school. The other thing is that my son, oldest son, is old enough to have conversations which is something I couldn't wait for. And the conversations we've been having have been conversations that really put the perspective on the fact that they're not as young as I thought they were. They're like super old. Like they truly understand concepts and understand different thought patterns and different ideas and can actually hold the conversation with people. And I just find it to be fascinating that they're able to do that. And not only that, but like they love to eat and I love to cook. So they eat everything. And they like to go outside like today and like to run around like today. And I thought I was like them, and my body reminded me that I am not their age anymore. So I'm dealing with a little pain.
Ooh.
But other than that, that's pretty much been it. I mean, I've really been enjoying my summer, like not doing anything. Truly, like I've been loving it. I do have a training I have to go to in Phoenix, and I'll be leaving in a couple of weeks. But other than that, I'm enjoying being home, doing absolutely nothing.
It's pretty dope. Like, really appreciate a rest. That's
Absolutely.
what it is.
Yeah.
At some point in our lives, we get convinced that we have to be on the go all the time. But
Right.
it's not thing.
Somebody lied to us.
You can relax. You can rest. It's okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dope. But I love to hear the stories about the boys and the girls. Like, that's so cute.
It's super dope. Like they was in the room just not too long ago, and he was like, "Daddy, come get the girls. They going crazy." I'm like, "What's the matter?" They keep jumping on the bed and they don't want to get off, and I'm afraid they're gonna bump their head. I'm like, "But you're older than them, so tell them not to do it anymore." No. You gotta come get them. It's just the funniest thing ever, man. I love it. But yeah, that's something I couldn't wait to see, and now that I see it, it's like, man, I wish I can get more of this. This is good stuff. Well, anyway, I think we spent enough time talking about ourselves. Let's dive right into the foolery, shan't we? So the people who are very stupid in Florida have decided to change the history of the Americas by putting in a curriculum that states that teachers now have to ensure that students walk away with the knowledge of, man, I'm so glad to be a college student. You see all these big words and sentences I'm putting together? You better mark this down. I'm good, yo.
It's getting recorded.
Oh, yeah. That the students are now required to learn that they learned, or rather their forefathers and foremothers learned skills due to slavery. And that without slavery, I'm trying not to laugh. And without slavery, these therefore mentioned foremothers and forefathers would not be successful had it not been for the things they learned while being slaves. You live in Florida. What's your thought about that?
I have not very many nice things to say, so I'm going to keep my response short. It's just really unfortunate, and I have watched a few videos of people's reactions to these changes, and it's just like, we've always known that they've rewritten history to reflect what they want us to know, but this blatant rewriting is just like, well, damn, you didn't even try to do it under the table. Like, you both split it. You just like have it. This is what we gonna tell our children. And it's unfortunate because there is going to be a time when there'll be less and less of us who know the truth available to share it. And those kids are really going to be at a disadvantage because they're going to grow up in a world where they believe that it's okay to be mistreated because you'll learn skills from that. So I find that very unfortunate.
The sad part about it is that, like, part of what you said, I agree with, because not part. I agree with everything you said, but the part that, like, I want to add on to is the fact that we already, actually, I should say, younger people now already don't have a firm grip on African American history to begin with.
Right.
Like, they didn't get a chance to learn what slavery really did to the African American male, female, and child. They have no clue as to what it did to the psyche of the generations of people that came after them, and the generation that just so happened to raise you and me, how it affected the family dynamic. I tell this story all the time, that when I had birthday parties, my friends had to come to my house for the birthday party. And I used to have certain friends that say, yo, I didn't know you had a mother and father. I didn't know your pops lived with you. And I'm saying to myself, what? Like, how did you get born? By miraculous consent? Like, doesn't everybody have a father? And he's like, no. But, like, your pops lives with you. I've had people come to me and tell me that when I was younger. Back in the day, it wasn't like, the most familiar thing to hear that you live with both your mother and father.
Yeah.
It was very familiar to hear that you were raised by a single parent home. And 9 times out of 10, it was the mother raising all the children, while the father was either out doing whatever he wanted to do, or he was incarcerated or dead because of whatever. But the sad part about it is that they don't realize that the reason why part of those things are taking place is because of slavery. The reason why economically we are so behind and deficient, and we're just learning how to make money, and we're just learning how to save money, and how to be sound in our fiscal responsibility. We're just learning that. Whereas we've made $250 billion for people's families and families to come off of the back of slavery. And I find it to be absolutely incredible that grown adults living in 2023 truly believe that you learn skills from being a slave. I mean, you got to be the dumbest. Yo, I'm trying. I can't curse on this thing, man, but you got to be probably one of the dumbest individuals if you believe that the things you learned because you were a slave.
Right.
You just got to be stupid to believe that. And everybody who voted it in, and every governor and senator and everybody who works for the school board down there in Florida, I hope one day you see this podcast and just let you know I said it.
Yeah. I'm going to keep my opinion censored.
I hope you don't get voted in again. I hope your family burns in a fire. And I'm joking. Listen, I mean, you're just stupid, bro. Like, come on, man.
It's unfortunate. It's very, very, very unfortunate. And I have to walk into a building. There's so many other things that have come through legislation in this last season that already have come up in conversation. And I believe it's Friday. We have like a district-wide training where I'll find out all the things that have come through that I need to be mindful of as a school counselor, not to bring up. Like, I'm not going to be allowed to have certain conversations with students. And it's just like, now you're censoring us even more because we got censored a little bit last year and now they're adding a little bit more this year. And I'm like, are we here to help them or not?
Right.
Because I entered this for the helping properties, not for the censoring properties.
It's disgusting.
So it's unfortunate. I don't really want to talk about it for too long because I do have to deal with it. I do live here, and I have a girlfriend in New York that she sends me messages on Instagram, and she's just like, "Friend, you need to come back. You need to come back to New York.
Oh,
Get
God.
on the plane." I'm like, "If I come back, I'm living with you." She's like, "Come on."
Right.
It's not safe. She's like, "It's not safe in Florida. It's just not."
Crazy.
And I'm like, girl, I can't think about it. If I think about it every day, I just wouldn't function. So
Absolutely
just
not.
say, when God warned us, he said the signs of the times. And I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Pretty much.
You add this to the pile of the foolishness.
Right.
So
Exactly. So, I wanted to bring it up, not that wasn't the fourth thing on my mind, but, I just find that, it's amazing. I just still find it amazing to me how people who don't look like us still make decisions for us.
all the time.
I can't understand it. I mean, even
It's
when it
like
comes
with
to
the
women's rights.
ovaries.
I was just about to say women's rights. Just when it comes to women's rights, you got all white women who are coming up with these ideas and plans that are adequate for women who are going to get pregnant. You will never get pregnant again. You will never have another baby again. You got your family and your grandkids and your great-great-grandkids. You'll never produce another child again, but you're going to tell somebody else how producing a family for them is going to be beneficial for them. Now, of course, I have different views on different things. And this is one of those topics that I don't think we'll talk about on this show unless it's obviously totally foul. But I believe that a woman has a right to make a decision. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think that any woman should be forced to do anything. If that's the case, then that means that every man who has a child should be forced to marry that woman.
Come on. Or
And I don't think that'll be okay.
At a minimum, take responsibility, and that's more than just sending a check.
And watch this.
Or resisting to send the check.
Right, because now we got people who are not even sending checks.
Right.
Like so you can't even force them to do anything.
You give them community service when they do some stupid misdemeanor in the community.
There it is. Something needs to happen. But I strongly believe that if a woman decides to make a decision on what it is that she wants to do, that's her choice. That's between her and her maker. Mm-hmm. We don't have a say-so in that. If I decide that today I want to go get liposuction and I want to walk around with a six-pack, ain't nobody going to tell me, I don't think you should do that because, the older you get, the more you need your fat cells. I want to get rid of them. So how are you going to tell me, no, I can't do this?
Right.
And then ban me from certain states from being able to do this procedure. That to me is retarded. If you don't want people to do something, then don't give people the option. But guess what? We're all born free. Mm-hmm. See, you messed up when you wrote the Constitution. Those of the lighter complexion, you said all men were created equal and we are all free. See, because now we're free, that means we're free to do what we so choose to do, as long as it doesn't overwrite or hinder the laws that are governing this country.
I got so many things to say.
That's not our fault that you wrote that.
Listen, they are slick. The law is slippery. If you read your birth certificate, your kids don't even belong to you. You don't even belong to you. It's wild. Your marriage don't even belong to you. You need to read these documents.
Listen.
They take it back. Every time you sign something that's attached to the federal government, they take back your freedom. Every time.
That's true. I agree with that.
Every single time. So.
All right, well, let's move on now, shall we?
Yes, please.
Do women have the equal rights as a man?
Of course not.
In relationships?
Of course not.
So I was looking at this video. There was a guy who was on the video, and he invites these girls, I guess, to come and sit around him. And as they talk about discussions or whatever, they talk about women's issues or whatever. And one of the things was the young lady that was on the show said something like, I decided to wear a bikini to a pool party. And me and my girls, we wore bikinis or whatever. And there's a guy or whatever that walks up to behind me and slaps me on the butt. You mean to tell me that I don't have the right to handle my business or whatever with this guy and tell me he's wrong, blah, blah, and the third. The guy's response was, you can't control what other people do. You can't control that there are crazies in the world and people who are scumbags and all this other stuff. But you can control what you do. And I think on the low, he was trying to tell her that it was kind of your fault because you wore a bikini to a pool party. I felt like that's what he was trying to say. How do you feel about that? Do you think women need to govern themselves so that way they don't tempt or entice another man? And then here, throw this question in there too. Do women honestly get dressed the way they do because they love themselves?
There's no way to answer that question because every individual is different.
Give me the majority. Give me the majority.
I'm not giving no majority because I ain't the majority. I don't know the majority. I don't represent the majority.
So give me you then.
I'm gonna give you me. When you said the story about the gentleman and the lady, it was giving a little bit of the your clothing was enticing to the gentleman, but it's like, are we giving people permission to disrespect our bodies just because of what we're wearing? That's like a big conversation. Like, are women not supposed to dress in a way that they feel comfortable with because it's encouraging to a man to be inappropriate? I mean, why do we have harassment laws? Why do we have rape laws? If you're saying if I dress a certain way, it's giving someone else permission to disrespect my body. Like, that's not okay. There's no scenario where because I'm at a pool party in a bikini, I entice a gentleman. If you know you can't manage your emotions, and when you see women in a bikini, then maybe you should have stayed home because you went to a pool party. What did you expect to see? There's no scenario where a gentleman should slap a woman on the ass, period. If we're not dating and I haven't given you permission to do that, there's not a scenario where that's okay, period.
So you don't think that there's no reason that a man should be able to touch a woman even though she's dressed a certain way?
Absolutely not. That is not an invitation. That's an outfit. If you don't like it, walk away. If you feel like it's inappropriate, walk away. You have the same choice that she did. She got dressed. She felt strong enough. She felt confident enough. She showed up. If you're uncomfortable, remove thyself. You don't get to slap a woman. You don't get to make a rude comment. And if you do, please be ready for the fire that's going to come towards you because you'll get cussed out. She may even reach out and slap you. Is that the best choice for her to make? No. However, just like the gentleman made the choice to slap her behind, she could choose to slap his face or even punch his face.
Okay.
We all have the choice of restraint because not every man does it. That's not a societal norm. You just happen to be the one individual that made that decision.
How you didn't grow it up, individual. I know what you wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
So now let me ask you another question. So answer the second part. Do you honestly get dressed in the mirror and say, "Ooh, I like the way this looks," or do you say to yourself, "Ooh, this is gonna bring a little attention"?
Honestly, I dress for my feelings. I'm an emotional dresser and a lot of other things emotional. If I don't feel good in it, I'm not going to put it on, no matter what kind of attention I think it's going to bring. It's all about whether or not I feel confident, whether or not I feel pretty, whether or not I feel gorgeous. Now, in terms of impressing the opposite sex, it really depends on where I'm going. To work, that's definitely not the goal. The goal is to be as professional and
Right.
cute as possible.
Ah, yes.
If
There
you
it is. That's the operative
a
word.
lounge or a bar, when I'm single, I'm gonna make sure I look and feel good so that that's what I permeate.
But
I'm
you
not one
also
of those women
don't
that's
look
gonna
single.
have the cleavage out every time or the tightest outfit every time. It's gonna be something that I feel confident and look good in, so that if I am approached, that is what I'm exuding. Confidence and gorgeousness.
But
I.e., tonight, I know I was going to be on camera, so I got gorgeous and proper. I'm looking professional. There's no extra stuff going on. I just look good and I feel confident.
I thought
But
that was
I'm not
really
one of those girls that's like, oh, yeah. If I'm going to the club, then obviously I want to look cute. If I'm going man hunting, then I'm gonna have somebody out, the girls or the bodycon dress, something gonna be out because that's what I'm going out to do. Is that a permission slip for anybody else? No.
But this is what I'm. This is what I'm going to get to. See, because you said it, but you're trying to gloss over it.
Go ahead. Go for it.
There are moments in time where you dress to make sure that your eyes or people's eyes are directed towards you,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what those moments are.
Yeah.
Before you leave the house, you know exactly what's going to happen before you walk out the door. Am I right?
You're right. And even in doing that, again, that's still not a permission slip for anybody else.
No, we forget about the permission slip stuff because that, to me, that's just a cop out. Like, we already know that. Let's just say it like this.
Enjoy the view.
On this show, we believe that nobody should do anything to anybody unless invited to do so.
That is correct.
So let's put that out there. That's what we believe. Now, whatever you decide to do, other places or whatever, we don't condone that. We believe that if you're gonna do something to me or her or anybody we know, it gotta be under an invitation. If you're not invited to do it, and that goes for me too. There's been a lot of girls that tried to come on to me. This is all in my dreams, of course. That try to come on to me or whatever, and I'll be like, no, ladies, no, not today. But I'm like, still like, no, but God, keep trying to touch me though. But listen, but I'm different. But I think in the real world, I wouldn't want somebody grabbing on me or touching me inappropriately unless it's been invited. So we got that out the way. But I know full well that there's certain pants I cannot wear.
They're girls pants.
I can't even talk about it on the show.
Oh God. Let me talk about it for you. Let me make an announcement. This is a PSA. If you never heard it before, if you're not too sure whether your package is large or small, men, gray, specifically gray sweatpants, are a no if you're not trying to attract unwanted attention.
Please,
you can't help it. It's just triggering. We just know and we look. And some women make the choice to speak on it.
Right.
You've been warned. I actually met someone recently that didn't know about that. A grown man at that. And I was like, you might not want to wear those to work. I'm just saying. There's children. Right. There's women who, just don't wear it to work.
Funny enough.
And he wore them again.
I got a story about that.
So you came to work knowing.
I had some Aeropostale jogging pants on, and I said, yo, I'm gonna wear these on a Friday because I didn't feel like, just because it's dress down Friday. I never wore those things again.
Right.
Never wore them again. It was just, first of all, well, if you're a real man, there's certain things that happen to you physiologically that you can't stop. It happens for most men, should be happening at least twice every half hour.
Really? Okay.
It should be.
I didn't know that.
And it don't take much to peer through some of these little jogging pants. Mm-hmm. Especially because nobody like back in the day is wearing tidy whities. You got boxer briefs, boxer shorts, and it's just don't do it. Especially for guys. Now, unless, once again, like Carla said, if you looking to garner that kind of attention from certain girls or whatever, you put your Timbs on, you hike up one leg, you put the joints on, you got your little ball cap turned to the back with your little wife beater on, and you gotta walk down the street. I'm pretty sure you get a lot of looks, but you know what's gonna happen before you walk out the door, and that's what I think more so for ladies than men. And I'm not trying to criticize women because I believe they should be able to wear whatever they want to wear. But women are so attractive. I mean, when God made a woman, he put his foot in that thing. I mean, it's everything about a woman is the most beautifulest thing in the world, like my boy Keith Murray would say. It's just, you can't get enough of it. And even if you see one, you gotta see another one, and you gotta see another one and another one. It's just an amazing thing. So, I do think sometimes, not all the time, but I'll probably say a small percentage of the time, women, y'all gotta help us out. Gotta help us out.
Listen.
I mean, sometimes these shirts, they come on, man. And then
I got to rebuttal.
Y'all in the day and age.
For all my ladies that be going outside with the bonnet on, the sweatpants, and the raggedy t-shirt and still get hit on, it don't matter what you wear, baby.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
They can holler.
It don't matter. Just make sure that whatever shirt you wear, you got a bra on. Because if you got the bonnet on with the no bra and the shirt and your
bra or not, they're gonna have, just like with your whole spiel just now about appreciating a woman and how God put his foot in it. It does not matter. It does not matter what we wear. I would say that the revealing clothing makes it worse, but it really doesn't matter what we put on. Guys will holler. They will make comments. They will try to talk to you. They'll try to get your number. Yes. They'll push you out when you ignore them. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It does not matter.
Gotta get a little old enough to be able to just take rejection, but yeah. But still, man, it's just,
it don't matter. That's why I say you can't. It's not a permission slip for you to be inappropriate, because legitimately, men will holler or try to talk to a woman, no matter what she's wearing, no matter what she looks like. She could think she look like crap, and he be like, "Yeah, buddy, let me holler at you for a second." It does not matter. It doesn't.
I have a question for you. So now I saw another video where there was an argument between a chick and a guy, and they were arguing back and forth heavy. I mean, like barking back and forth each other, both of them. I think he may have cheated on her or whatever, and he got found out or whatever, and they're barking back and forth. Somebody saw the video and commented on the video, and they said that this woman is out of line for going back and forth with this man.
Is that so?
And said the words that I know is going to disrupt this whole situation right now. That if she was a real woman, she would have never had that argument with that man. Now, I'm not gonna tell you what else he said until after we debate this. Well, no, let me just throw it out there. He also said that the reason why a real woman wouldn't debate or argue with another man is because a real woman doesn't argue with a boy.
Okay.
But that women who are female dogs, or women who live out ghetto type chicks that don't really understand or know their value. I'm trying to really
clean it up.
PG-13 this joint. They don't have an understanding or understand the difference between a real woman and a girl. Let's put it like that. And then he gave an example. He said, because when a girl walks into a room, he didn't use girl, use another word. Mm-hmm. She'll get heckled. Hey, yo, shorty, come here, blah, blah, whatever. When a real woman walks into the room, a real woman to make you tighten up, like, oh, snap, wait a minute. Let me fix myself because, there's a woman here. Almost as if, like, when you cursing outside, but, you go in your grandmother's house, and as soon as you walk in the door, you tell your boy, yo, you can't curse in here, it's my grandmother's house. Oh no problem. Hi, Miss So and So, Miss So and So, Miss So and So. You know, they shaking hands, speaking language you ain't never heard of before, because all they did was curse when they was outside. But now they're in your grandmother's house, they speaking like a college professor.
Plastic code switch at home.
Exactly. So, what are your thoughts about that? Do you think, first of all, a woman should be arguing with a man? I have my own views on it. Ooh wee. All right, to a boy. I'll take that.
I respect that. I respect the idea that a real woman would argue with a boy, because I have learned in my healing journey, some arguments are not worth it. Like, the energy that you expend arguing a point, it's just not worth it. There's no purpose. There's no point. Just to be right is not good enough reason to have an argument. A disagreement, fine, but a straight up argument, yelling, disrespecting each other, just like trying to be the loudest, there's really not a purpose. I don't think anybody needs to do that for any reason. Now, if someone disrespects you or says or does something that is offensive, you can address it without it being an argument. You can even walk away. Because if staying there is going to make you behave in a way that is not appropriate in all settings, then don't do it. But you have to be mature enough to even accept that and then do it. Some people just feel like, well, they disrespected me, I have to put them in their place. It's a way to
Sometimes
do it.
Putting them in their place is leaving them in their place.
Because they're not on your level.
Right.
So you don't even need to have a conversation. There's nothing to discuss. There's nothing to argue. You just showed me who you are and where you are, and I'm above that. So bye.
That's it.
People can't handle that.
I agree. I think we both agree on that. I don't think a woman should be arguing with another man. I think that in a lot of cases, if a man, and this from a man's standpoint now, if a man is arguing with you, it's because of one or two reasons. Either one, he's fighting for his belief, or two, he's trying to get out of a situation. Men understand that when anger comes about, that all you need is one thing to go wrong so you can deflect and go to something else. So if me and you are arguing about, let's say, the laundry, and we're going back and forth, and you say something like, well, you know, you got your boys coming over, and and then I'll be like, what's up with my boy? Why you got my boys? And it's like this and the third. We're looking for a way to deflect out of the conversation so we can make the argument about something else, so that we can win the argument. But 9 times out of 10, we kind of sort of already know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not giving away no secrets. I mean, they kind of already know this already. But in a lot of arguments, like, most men are trying to find an opportunity to deflect, so that way we can talk about something else. So that way, while we're talking about something else, I can get you out of what you're talking about and into another realm, into another place, so I can beat you in that argument. And then you forget why you was even arguing with me. And then when you remember, I'm like, y'all don't even remember I did all of that. Like, you lying. See, that's sort of what guys do. We like to be able to manipulate the conversation or control the conversation as much as possible, so that way we feel that when we come out of the conversation, only we're understood and you're not. And that's a boy, like you said earlier. That's I don't want to call him a boy, but that's a boy mentality. Give me my toy, that's mine. Well, it's really not yours because I bought it yesterday. Well, I'm playing with it today. Well, it's still not yours, even if you're playing with it today. I bought it yesterday. Yeah, but if you didn't buy it yesterday, I wouldn't be able to play with it. You see the deflection that's going on? Like, that's what boys do. That's what little boys do. We practice deflection when we're very young. So it manifests itself in older age. However, if a woman is a real woman and she says, you know what, James, I'm not going to argue with you. You know what you did. I know what you did. There it is on the table. You can either come to me and ready when you deal with it, when you're ready to deal with it, or you can just let me know that you don't want to do this anymore, and I'll find some place to go and walk out the room. Let me tell you something. There's two things men hate. When a woman hangs up the phone, don't hang up a phone of another man. That will drive him absolutely insane.
Mhm.
The second thing is having a man sit or stew in what he knows to be wrong. That's the most difficult things that a man has to do because a man never wants to feel like he's wrong, especially in the presence of his girl. So now imagine now he's having to face this woman who done told him the whole strike setup and this is the way it's gonna be, and you gotta come to grips with what it is you did or I'm leaving and walks out the room. Please believe he's gonna be thinking about that for the next 3-4 hours. He's not gonna be able to eat, sleep, drink. He's not gonna be able to go outside. He's not gonna play no sports. He's not gonna watch nothing. He's gonna be in his brain trying to figure out, well, dang, I done messed up. How I get it back? And that's what it is. So I agree. So we agree again. Last topic before we get to my favorite topic. Are you ready?
I'm listening.
How long should you wait before you tell someone I love you?
I think Daddy was setting me up.
So guys, I just want to let you know I have a friend of mine, right? Cool.
My bad, y'all.
He just so happens to be like
Set me up.
in a pseudo relationship, and
Oh God, why I gotta
I'm noticing that like every time she talks to me about the situation or whatever, she keeps saying that he says I love you, and she says I love you too. And I say, well, man, don't you think it's kind of early for you to be saying that? And she gave me a good reason why she says it. And I was okay with the reason at first, but then I thought about it and I shared my opinion about it. But I want to hear what you think. What's your opinion on what? How many months, how many weeks, how many years should it be before you tell someone that you love them? And then explain what kind of love you were talking about when we talked about it last. Like you were talking about a particular type of love.
Okay. This is the setup. He's been building up towards this whole conversation. And now I'm 100% sure this is what he wanted to talk about to begin with. My eyes are tearing. I'm just so overwhelmed. All right, y'all. Here we go. Just like earlier, I don't represent the majority. I feel like everybody's relationship is different. Yes, there are some situations where when you say I love you too soon, it's a red flag. And then there are some people who meet and get married in 6 months or less. So it's just like everybody's different. When you meet a person, you don't know what that individual prayed for. You don't know, or when you hear about someone in a relationship, you don't know what they prayed for. You don't know what the circumstances surrounding their meeting up is. You don't know the connection that they have. You just can't know. They'll tell you some things, but you're not going to know everything about that connection. And so people who get married in less than 6 months and actually last, it just happened to work out for them. And then some people, they're together for 6 months or longer and they wait that long to say I love you. Doesn't mean that their connection is not as real. It might not have been as strong, or personalities and wanting not to be the first to say it plays a role too. I know that's a big thing for guys. Like sometimes they don't want to say it first because they got something to prove. And then women are doing the same thing because they're like, I don't want to seem like that girl. So putting a timestamp on it, I think is just unrealistic. Everybody's journey is different. For instance, for me, in my healing journey, there's a lot of things that I can see, feel, connect with that as a woman in her early 20s, I was not even in that zone. I was just one-minded about a lot of things. What was the last part of your question? What are my thoughts? No,
Yeah.
those were my thoughts. Just, I think it's unrealistic to put a timestamp on that.
Okay.
Now,
Well,
what
I
you
guess
say?
here's my last question. You went to an island, a beautiful place. Did you happen to come back a different person?
I wouldn't say I'm a different person. I had some experiences.
Oh, so you're still the same?
I think so. I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
All right,
I'm
fine.
not talking about it. I'm still the same person. Yeah, I even had a conversation with my therapist about some of the experiences that I had. Yes, I have a therapist. I talk to her every week, minus my vacation. And she celebrated some of my improvements from when she first met me till now. I'm in a different place. We change as individuals, especially those of us who are active in our healing. You're going to constantly be changing, but I think I'm the same person. Did I have some new experiences? Am I exposing myself to different types of things? Yes. That's a part of life. So I am entertaining something new. We're going to see what it turns into, if anything.
Okay. I'll take that.
Set up.
And I appreciate
I'm
you.
going to get him, y'all. I'm going to get him back.
I love you. I love you.
I'm going to get him back so good.
All right, music question of the day, and then we're going to close this thing out. So, there's a group you got to eliminate. You got to eliminate a group. Here are the choices. You have to eliminate the group and all of its music.
Oh, thanks.
All of its music. Jodeci. Jagged Edge. Boyz II Men. Dru Hill.
I knew this wasn't going to be easy.
You gotta eliminate all of them and the music.
I just feel like this particular group, I don't know a lot of their music, or maybe I don't know that it is their music.
Come and talk to me. I really want to meet you,
Who's
girl.
that?
Jodeci.
No. Jodeci, we cannot get rid of Jodeci. I feel like Jagged Edge would be who I would get rid of.
Let's get married.
I just feel like they don't have as many iconic songs. They do have a few, but Jodeci has multiple. Boyz II Men has multiple. Dru Hill, I mean, yeah. For me, it would be Jagged Edge. No offense. I think that their songs are awesome, but if I had to choose, that's the one I would choose.
Okay.
What about you?
Oh, this one is easy. Jagged Edge. I never really liked Jagged Edge. There's nothing against Jagged Edge though. Like,
right, like
I still
y'all
seen this.
bad. Like, I'm not hating.
Yeah, like I feel like they came in at a time where R&B was really like at its height. You had Tyrese, Tank, Boyz II Men on the edge of them. You got Dru Hill, then you got Mint Condition, and did I say Tyrese? You got Aaliyah and Ciara, and it was a lot of R&B going on at that time, and they kind of got like lost. It wasn't until they made that remix of Let's Get Married that I finally really started paying attention to them. But that really was, well, no, I Gotta Be. I like that song. Gotta Be. Okay,
yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, that was a good one. Like, I like that one. But other than that,
again,
I don't think I bought a whole album of theirs. I don't. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Next one. You ready for this one? This one's going to be
more.
A little bit more difficult.
More difficult?
This one, all the music has to go, including the person. Michael Jackson.
You shouldn't be in anybody's category.
Beyonce. Beyonce. Did you hear what I said?
I heard you.
Brandy.
This is a setup.
Lauryn Hill.
You're gonna disagree with me because I know how you feel about her,
You
but
better not say it.
it's Brandy for me. And I loved her, but I'm sorry, not as much as I love everybody else. Lauryn Hill? I will play Lauryn Hill all day before I play Brandy all day. I'm sorry. And the other two, you can't touch them. Just nobody's deleting them. Because if you're deleting Beyonce, you're like seriously a hater. I'm not even like a Beehive fan. I'm just she makes good music. She makes music that people love. Period. Am I wrong?
Then you don't want to hear my answer then.
I know that's who you're getting rid of. But Michael Jackson, he should not even have been in this. He's a man. You just gave me a man and 3 women. Like,
all right, fine.
You messed
Scrap
up.
Scrap that one. Because
you messed up. No, I want to know who you gonna say. Beyonce.
Oh, Beyonce's out of here. I think that Beyonce only makes music for one group of people, which really amounts to about this much to me. I like people who make music. Now, granted, I think that
she's a performer.
No, most definitely.
She's a performer. She's going to give you a show.
And when I say take
there's
away,
a place for that.
That's what I mean. When I say take away, I don't mean like she was never any good. Mm-hmm. Destiny's Child wouldn't have been Destiny's Child without her.
Right.
You know, her being able to perform next to greats like Jay-Z and others or whatever, she made them famous. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not taking away from what she did. I'm talking about her catalog. I'm not a bit. I like music, and she's
musicianship and
musicianship, and she's more of a
performer.
Of a pop R&B singer. You know what she reminds me of sometimes, and I know, and I had an argument with somebody about this too. She reminds me of Flo Rida. Flo Rida came in as a rapper, and trying to be hardcore, or whatever, and somebody was like, "We don't need you to be no hardcore rapper. Welcome to my..." Like, turned him into a hip hop star, almost like Pitbull. And these guys are making money hand over fist. You can't stop them from making money. They go to sleep and make more money than we could ever make working 5 jobs for 20 years. They will never stop making money until they're dead and gone. And that's because of the lane that they were put into. And I think Beyonce is in that lane. She's in that lane of a pop R&B star. So if she makes music, the R&B hip hop radio stations are going to play it, but it's also going to be on the Z100s and the other rock stations or whatever. She even got a country song that's out right now. That's like totally bumping. What's the name of the song? I just downloaded not too long ago. That country song is fire, bro. She collaborated with an artist, and they came out with this song, bro. And I'm telling you, the song rocks. It's called Daddy Lessons featuring the Chicks. Let me tell you something. That song is fire, bro.
And you love you a good country song.
And I love me some country music. That song is fire. So she does well being in these different, these different genres and making these people famous. But I'm more instrumental in music than I am more dancing and popping and locking and everything else. All right, last category. You ready?
Yeah.
This one's gospel.
I hope I know these people.
We going 90s on it. You ready?
Okay.
90s, 2000s. Here we go. And it's a mix, men and women.
Mm-hmm.
John P. Key.
Okay.
Yolanda Adams. Fred Hammond. Mary.
Sorry.
I don't like you so much. I swear, you better not say the wrong thing.
Oh, yeah. What is the wrong thing? My opinion cannot be wrong.
Mary Mary, Fred Hammond,
Definitely staying. Those two are definitely staying.
Yolanda Adams,
One of
John
them
P.
got
Key.
to go. Give me some John P. Key songs, because I know I'm supposed to know a lot of them, but
Oh my
I'm so
God.
far removed.
Show up. Show up.
Okay.
I do worship.
Yeah. So my original decision. Sorry, Yolanda. I think she's good at what she does. But you're making me choose, so I'm choosing her.
Yeah, I think we're okay. We're choosing the same person. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, because John P. Key made some instrumental songs, and he's created some great singers.
Right.
Men Standard came out of his choir.
Nice.
I mean, Isaac Curry
Came from his choir too?
came from your choir.
Yeah. That's pretty
You
good.
got to stay on the list. You can't come off.
Yeah, no hate to Yolanda.
No hate to Yolanda.
I've done a few of her songs as covers.
Hasn't anybody?
Career.
Exactly.
But yeah. I am a Mary Mary fan, so they definitely weren't going anywhere. And you can't touch Fred Hammond? Get out of here.
No, you can't. All right, I know you don't like rap, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And it's our last one. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I think I am. Jay-Z, J. Cole, Andre 3000, Lil Wayne.
It's gonna be J. Cole for me. I know he's what's up, but yeah.
It was J. Cole for me too. All right, folks, listen, I'm so glad that we was able to have this show today. What an awesome time we had.
Yes.
Our time is up. Carla, I want to thank you so much for wanting to rock with us here today. Obviously, I want to thank myself for wanting to be on. I want to thank me too.
Thank you, James.
Any parting words, Carla, to your friends and fans?
Travel. It's good for you. Seeing something outside of the norm is pretty awesome. And make time to rest. Even if you're going a 2-hour drive from home or over to the nearest state to a state park, travel. See something out of the norm. It's really perspective changing. It's eye-opening. It's exposure for you and anyone that you choose to do it with, and it presents an opportunity to rest or decompress in a new space. So do it.
Dope. And my last words, don't be a sucker. Face your fears. The only way you're going to win is if you go through it and not sit on it.
We love that.
We're out of here, folks.
And don't forget to be kind.
Be kind. That's the brand. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Channel be up and it'll be blossoming soon. We're going to put more podcasts up. We're back over vacation. We got no choice but to go to work. So we are forced to be in our homes. So we'll be making more shows. Yeah. So tell your friends, tell your family. We're going to try to come at you at least once a week to get you this great content. And until then, I hope you have an awesome life.
Yes.
Later, guys.
Later.